Hello and welcome back everybody to Christian's Fragrance Reviews. Today I'm on the wonderful island of Mallorca, as you can see, and I will talk to you about one of my favorite designer fragrances. We'll talk today about Chanel Allure Homme Sport au Extrême. So in 2019, when I started my fragrance journey, I was mostly into designer fragrances. I think this is where most people start. And yeah, I was mostly into Versace Eros, Versace Pour Homme, Dior Sauvage, Stronger With You Intensely, all those kind of fragrances. And yeah, through my research, I came actually across this fragrance, so it was critically acclaimed. A lot of people were talking about this fragrance. And yeah, I decided to check it out in the perfumery store. And I must admit, it was love at first sniff. So right from the get-go, I was like really wowed, and I knew, okay, this is a really good fragrance. And at that point, I already had a lot of fragrances, like I was buying a lot of fragrances, and I noticed that I started to have a bit of a problem because I was buying fragrances, like one fragrance, I don't know, every 2 weeks or like every month. And then I was like struggling with myself, should I really get this fragrance or should I not get it? And because also like at discounters, this is not that much discounted, so even for a designer fragrance, it's more on the higher side of the like higher price segment. So I was like, okay, just do it, you know, whatever. I just bought it anyway, and I never regretted it. So this is actually my second bottle. I had a bottle 50 milliliters. I used it up. This is my second bottle, which I got from a friend. And yeah, let's talk about the smell. So in the opening, you have as an official note mandarin orange, mint, and cypress. So I mostly in the opening get the mandarin orange. So this is not exactly like a citrus-based fragrance, so you're not hit with a huge amount of citrus, but you know, there's like this citrusy like quality in the opening. The mint and the cypress, I don't get it that much. Maybe a little bit of the cypress, you know, of the spiciness. But then in the mid notes you have clary sage and black pepper, and this gives, like these two notes give this fragrance like this distinct masculinity. So you have the clary sage, which is one of my favorite fragrance notes. So I did a review about Sunshine Man from Amouage, and it also has the clary sage note, and it's an aromatic, spicy note. So it gives fragrances like this spicy nuance, and also like this typical manly aromatic quality. And also the black pepper is just more spices and like more of this, it's more of a woody spiciness. So very manly kind of notes. And then in the base you have sandalwood, tonka bean, white musk, and cedar. Like the base, I can't really distinguish those individual notes, but then in the base, I would describe it mostly as a creamy, sweet sandalwood kind of fragrance, and also tonka bean. So the fragrance actually transitions a lot from the opening. So in the opening it's like fresh, it has this mandarin orange, but then after, yeah, pretty quickly, like after half an hour, it becomes this creamy, quite sexy and alluring and also sweet kind of fragrance. I mean, it's called Allure for a reason. So when it comes to the performance, it is not the most performant fragrance, I must admit. It is called an Eau Extrême, but calling this an beast mode fragrance would be, yeah, I don't know, would be a bit of an overstatement. So I get the longevity about 5, maybe 6 hours, and I actually get a good projection in the first hour. But then after 1 hour, it actually remains pretty close to the skin. It becomes a skin scent, in my opinion. And yeah, so the performance is rather average, in my opinion. It's not that strong, unfortunately. I mean, if this fragrance would last maybe 1 or 2 more hours and wouldn't be such a skin scent, yeah, this could be considered an Eau Extrême. But right now it's more of an Eau de average. So when it comes to presentation, you have this really simple but elegant kind of presentation from Chanel. Unfortunately, you don't have a magnetic cap, but you have a really good sprayer with where a lot of juice is coming out. So the presentation overall is good, but nothing special. As a tip, if you want to see how much fragrance you have left, just use a lighter and just shine through the fragrance, and then you will see how much juice you have left. So when it comes to occasion, most people say this fragrance is a very versatile fragrance, and I agree with them, but I still think that it has an optimal use. So it is a very creamy and also sweet and sexy kind of fragrance with not that big of a projection. So I think, in my opinion, it would be like the ideal date fragrance. I mean, it's called Allure for a reason. So, you know, when you go with your partner or spouse to the restaurant or to the cinema or just going for a walk, you don't want to have a big projecting loud fragrance. You rather want to have a little bit more subdued and closed and intimate kind of fragrance, and I think this is where this fragrance mostly shines for these kind of date occasions, not necessarily those going out, going to the club fragrance, because there the projection is not big enough. You don't get this attention, you know, everybody turning around, looking after you. What's that smell? Who is this guy? You know, this is more of this kind of if you go on a date fragrance. So in summary, I would describe this fragrance as a fresh, sweet, creamy and seductive kind of scent, which will get you tons of compliments. So if you're looking for this kind of fragrance, I would really suggest you check it out. So this was my review of Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau Extrême. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to leave me a like and subscribe, and I will see you for the next video. Bye bye.